premeditated act of taking another human being's life. Okay, I realize that there are points when one can be pushed to desperation. But desperation, no matter how intense, cannot possibly justify the act of taking another human being's life. Can it, sir?
In Baker County, Tennessee, the backwoods hillfolk will welcome some college students with death. Welcome to another bad movie review. Tonight I have course of talking about The Killer Instinct, also known as Trapped, and Baker County, USA. This 1982 cinema veritas classic. Yeah, I said that wrong. I don't care. Is about 95 minutes long, rated R. This is a Hicksploitation film. That's right, exploiting Hicks is its own genre. Alright, this movie takes place deep in a small backwoods community of Tennessee, obviously, where Henry Chatwill catches his wife Amy, banging it out with an out-of-towner, some sort of like welfare type guy. Never mind that he was cheating on her a short time before. He still decides that this man should be killed for rape, even though it was a totally consensual sexual act. The locals all agree, and of course they decide to tar and feather this guy, literally. The so-called rapist is then tarred and feathered, but he manages to escape. He doesn't get far when the backwoods hunters in hot pursuit. Unfortunately, there are 4 college students that witness the then murder of this man. Now the hunt is on. They've got to cover their tracks and get these pesky college students. Pretty standard stuff, most dangerous game from there. As far as Hicksploitation goes, this is one of the better ones, but they're all pretty terrible. And this one isn't much of an exception. A lot of the cast you'll recognize, mostly Canadian actors from what I can tell, if not all of them. First and foremost, you're going to recognize Henry Silva. If you don't know who that is, that's on you. That's your fault. Let's see. He was in Dick Tracy, the 1991 movie, as Influence. He was in the Steven Seagal classic, Above the Law, from 1988. He was in Code of Silence with Chuck Norris. Allan Quatermain in The Lost City of Gold. Megaforce. Chained Heat. This guy is a legendary villain actor. He's probably better cast as a villain, but he is a very versatile actor all around. I don't want to shortchange him. He shouldn't be pegged as a villain. He just tends to play them a lot. Also, you may notice Joy Thompson, who was in Prom Night, the original. Then there's Gina Dick, who was in My Bloody Valentine. This movie, Killer Instinct, was her last known movie, which is really sad, because the ancillary actors were probably the best ones. And you'll probably recognize Nicholas Campbell if you're Canadian, because he played Da Vinci on Da Vinci's Inquest, the TV show, and he also played the chief of police on a TV show called Haven that was on Sci-Fi Network, I believe. So he's been around for ages. Now, with all this talent, you would think this would be a good movie. Well, I'm sorry, you're wrong, because this is a pretty bad movie. This is the only movie I know of that I can think of where somebody is killed with the TV antenna off the roof of a house. So it's very unique in that regard. It's got a lot of problems. The storyline's pretty cliche. It sticks to the main points, kids see something they shouldn't, and of course the so-called hillbillies have to chase them down and murder them for fun and or entertainment. Hillbillies really get a tough rap in movies like this, because everybody just seems to go along with the crazed leader, which happens in cult-like groups, I guess, but oh man, this is a tough one to watch, because it wants to be good, and it comes real close to being a good movie, but it's really not. It has the usual problem of the kids have the chance to escape, and they don't. If I see some guy who's tarred and feathered get bludgeoned to death, I'm not going to go back for my camping equipment, which is exactly what these idiots did. I don't know why college students are so stupid. I thought it was a generational thing. It's not just millennials, it's all of them. They're all dumb. College students have been dumb since at least the 80s. This is your proof. They go back to get their camping equipment. You know what? I can buy new stuff. Alright? I see some guy get bludgeoned to death who's been tarred and feathered, and I have the chance to just leave and go somewhere else. I'm going to do that. Yeah. It's called running away. Or if you want to get fancy, it's a tactical withdrawal. That's the way to do things sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to run away, especially when you're outnumbered by people that know the land, live off the land, and have lots of guns. Anyway, the technical aspects. Why do all the Hicks look like they wandered off the Bizarro World version of the Waltons? I mean, I love flannel too, as much as the next person. Look real 40s. You know, the one woman who's played by an actress named Barbara Gordon. I don't know why she didn't go all Batgirl on everybody, but here we are. She's dressed like she just walked off the set of the Waltons. Like the flower print dress that's real conservative that I haven't seen anyone outside of the 50s movies wear. Or maybe the Beverly Hillbillies. But that kind of bothered me. The film quality and sound quality are really poor. I've never seen this on DVD. The last I've seen it's on VHS. I saw it on TV once, years ago, at like 2 in the morning. So I don't even see it make the rounds very often. It's a pretty hard to find film. Usually your best bet's VHS, though. Let's see, what else have I got here? There's nudity in the first 5 minutes, so there's that for you. So that's a winner. It did win with some nice nudity right out the gate. Like the credits open and then this cute brunette just drops her dress and there's her boobs. And they're nice. So there are about 4 boob scenes from 3 different women and 2 distinct ass shots. So yeah, you can look forward to that at least. And the college kids, like I said, they're dumb. So they make the usual stupid college kids mistakes, but it doesn't bite them as much as you would expect, not like a Friday the 13th movie. This movie really focused more on plot, like making the Hicks look really bad and stupid, but they're smarter than the college kids, which, by any indication of slasher films, college kids are pretty dumb. The sheriff is useless, and of course he's in on it. He's from the area. So, as usual, you can't count on law enforcement, which again reinforces my point. If you're in this situation, you see a murder out in the backwoods, apparently in Tennessee is a good one, go to the state cops, like they were near Knoxville. Go to Knoxville and tell the cops there, because the local cops are probably in on it. So, yeah, little rule to live by if you're ever in a backwoods slasher film. Just keep going. Just buy new camping equipment later. Oh, we gotta go get our stuff. No, you don't. No, you don't. There's a Walmart somewhere nearby. You can buy new camping crap if you really need it. I'm sure you live near a big box store. You can get new camping equipment. It's a small price to pay for staying alive. And all this could have been avoided. It could have been a short film. It could have just been like, oh, look, they murdered that guy. Let's go talk to the state police. Bye. And they drive off. The next scene is them talking to the state police. Like, yeah, we did try and call, but, you know, the locals weren't having it, so we came out here to tell you. And they're like, oh, good job. Fill out a bunch of paperwork, and we're going to form a posse. I'm sure that's how that works. Anyway, this is a terrible film, but in a good way. It's actually pretty entertaining. The pacing's really good. It moves along, you know, stuff's happening all the time. There's lots of good character development. Henry Silva's awesome as always. Yeah, I can't really say the same for Nicholas Campbell because I hated Da Vinci's Inquest. I thought that was a terrible show, and it used to be one of the only things on late at night because Canadian TV is cheap, and they play it late at night on some of the local channels where I lived. And at the time, I was working as a security guard. And there was nothing to do, so we were allowed to sit there and watch TV. And Da Vinci's Inquest was on all the time, and it was like a mentally defective Columbo with a Canadian accent, so it really infuriated me. So I have a kind of a bias against him. I don't think he's a terribly good actor. He's okay in this. He's actually just kind of like a passable actor, easily replaced, like Nicolas Cage. So I don't hate him per se. I hate that show that he was on, so that kind of skews my perspective. And this used to be one of the worst movies I'd ever seen, but I've had a better education since then. So it's an okay movie. As far as Hicksploitation goes, it's a great example of Hicksploitation. And overall, the scenes are pretty well shot. The cinematography guy did a good job, and the makeup artist did a good job. So I can't really fault him for that. It's definitely not the worst movie I've seen to date. 20 years ago, I would have said otherwise, though. But yeah, this is, I don't know why it's rated R. It's not particularly bloody. There is a little bit of swearing, but honestly, this movie could be remade into a pretty good horror movie if they tried hard. Because this is just it's just a weak movie. And if they remade it, they could get like John Bergenthal, the guy who played Shane on The Walking Dead, as like the henchman sidekick, and get Billy Ray Cyrus to play the Henry Chatwill part. I think those two would be awesome in this movie if it was ever remade. Because Henry Silva, rather, sorry, he has that same jawline as Billy Ray, and Billy Ray's a pretty big dude. So he would actually look way more intimidating than Henry Silva, I think. And he's already got the Tennessee accent, so he's from Kentucky, I guess, technically. So, but yeah, so that would have been my casting choices, because if they remade this could be a pretty good horror movie. As it is, it's just kind of a mediocre, action-y sort of film, but it's good cheese. It's fun to sit around and poke fun of, because it's pretty tepid as a film, and but it's got a lot of good cheese moments. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know why this one gets the rave reviews it tends to, but it's worth watching. It's a lot of fun. It's a good popcorn flick if you want to watch with your buddies and make fun of it. Good stuff. Very biased against the hill folk though, which always tragic. You know, I like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where they reverse the situation, and it's way better. Just once I'd love to see like a serious version of a movie like this where they flip it and it's college kids being all murdery and the locals have to hunt them down for real. That would be a better movie to me. But this is good cheese, so check it out and see what you think. Thanks for listening to my tangential ramblings, and we will see you next time on Bad Movie Review.
I'm gonna kill you.